And now podcasting from the great state of Alaska, this is the Upper One Podcast with your hosts, Scott, Eric, and Tim.
Welcome back to the Upper One Podcast. Glad to have everybody tuning in. We got Tim over here. We got Scott over there. I'm Eric, and it's been about 7 days since we've been together, and we recorded our last podcast, and there's been some things going on.
Got some new developments going.
Yep, things have been happening. The big one, that you guys out there might be interested in, is they took the bus out of the woods.
Yep. It's not into the woods no more. Into the wild. It's out of the wild.
Exactly. Into the Wild, that book and movie that was made.
Sean Penn directed that movie.
That bus that was sitting in the middle of nowhere in Alaska has been pulled out. They flew it out just the other day.
Yep. And I did read that they have not got any plans of where they're putting it, so it's going to go into storage until they decide if it's going to go into some museum or something. But
I'm sure they'll put it in
something. So for any of those of you that have any aspirations of coming to Alaska on vacation, you cannot get into the woods to see the actual bus. But the bus that they used in the movie is actually right outside the restaurant in the 49th State Brewing Company in Healy, Alaska. So you can go see a replica bus. Yes, you can. For those of you that want to come up here, that is a tourist attraction. Eric?
It's a replica bus.
But it is painted the exact same way.
It's the bus that was used in the movie.
It was the one that was used in the movie.
Yeah, but it's not like the real
No,
deal.
You're right, but you know what? That McCoy jersey or whatever you got is a replica jersey. It's not a real jersey.
I wouldn't have a McCoy jersey.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. Your damn football jerseys are replica jerseys. They're not authentic jerseys.
Yeah, but if you're going to make the trek to come all the way to Alaska to see the real bus that is from the movie and the book of Into Alaska.
Hey, Jack.
You can't do it anymore.
You can't do it anymore because they're eliminating you from getting stuck out there.
Well, and I'm not saying that that's not a bad thing, because there have been people that have died and trying to get there and be part of that. But now I hope that they do, since they've flown the thing out, they put it somewhere where people can come and see the
I would imagine they're going to do that. But
bus.
for now, like I was saying, aspirations of coming to see that bus, you can see the one that was in the movie in Healy, Alaska, outside of the 49th State Brewing Company restaurant or whatever it is up there.
It's an opportunity.
It's a photo, yeah. It's tourist stuff.
If you're an aspiring brewer and you want a catchy name for your brew company, then you could probably call it Magic Bus Brewing, and you could buy that bus and put it on a big pole out in front of your brewery.
Tim just sent out a little slogan for somebody.
You could advertise it as being
the bus,
and people would flock to see it. And while they're there, maybe buy some of your microbrew beer.
There you go.
If I had a couple $1 million and could open a brewery, I'd do it.
Well,
but
I was thinking about opening something else and having it called Into the Wild.
That's for another time.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I'd be politically correct saying it, even though we've talked about the shop and that we used to own. But
like I said, that's for another time.
So since we're going to another time, let's talk about some upcoming events. On July 4th, there's going to be a dual event. A dual event. And it's going to be, because of the COVID, they postponed a lot of things. And an event that was postponed was the Indy 500.
Oh,
And so the dual event that I saw advertised was the Indy 500 to be run on July 4th and the Brickyard 500 would be run on the same day.
wow.
Back to back.
I didn't see that.
Back to
I
back.
didn't hear about that.
That's
At the
going to be a
same
long
track.
day at the racetrack.
And I was like,
1,000 miles at the racetrack, boy.
And I've heard that NASCAR is getting ready to start allowing some fans back at the track. They did Homestead, and they allowed 1,000 U.S. military families to attend that race. And I hear at Talladega, they're talking about allowing like 30,000 people or 5,000 people or something like that.
Well, here's my thing. Okay, up here in Alaska, we have the travel restrictions where you are allowed to come up here and not quarantine yourself if you take a test with negative results, right?
right.
So why don't we start doing that? If you want to go to these sporting events, 5 days before the sporting event, go get a test. And when you show up at the gate, you got to show them a negative test result within 5 days of that event. And then you can come in.
Well, I don't know about that. Because I look at these conditions on flying. You come in here, you got to take a test. And if your test is saying you're negative for the last 5 days, where have you been in the last 5 days? So that says that you didn't somehow
That is why
get in contact with somebody within that time frame that your paper's saying that you're clean.
But that's why Alaska has set out that they're gonna provide you another test when you get here to test within 72 hours of being here. I think it's 72 hours.
If you come in, though, and you got a paperwork in the last 5 days that says that you're clean, you're okay to go.
But that was 5 days
What
ago.
happens after you took that test?
Exactly. That's why I'm saying from 5 days of travel, you've taken a test. So you've got 5 days. You get to Alaska within 5 days of your first test. So who have you been around? Like you just said, Alaska's giving you a voucher for another test to make sure that you haven't tested positive within those 5 days.
They're saying that you don't have to test if you have the paperwork.
No, they do.
No, they're giving you if you have a negative test result.
I didn't want to bring up a COVID
I didn't really want to
discussion.
get into it either.
All I wanted to do was say they're going to race 2 500-mile races in the same day.
And I love it. I can't wait.
Wasn't it Tony Stewart that did the date Indy 500 and then
The Coke 600 and Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Kurt
going to
Busch
say.
did it.
I mean, that's 1,100 miles driving.
And not to mention flying down there.
Yeah.
And I thought I heard some rumors that there's a chance that Kurt might be doing it again. And Jimmy Johnson.
Well, he doesn't
has
have to
been
fly.
doing-
Yeah, they won't miss any drivers'
Exactly.
meetings.
Exactly. They'll be right there. That would be awesome to see possibly Jimmy Johnson
Actually,
and Kurt Busch
I know
do it
some
again.
people that don't ever watch NASCAR that have been watching it because it's the only live sporting event on TV.
But I tell you what, and I got to say, with that being said, I'm really enjoying watching the NASCAR races more now than I think I ever did a little bit, because they're sending everybody out there with no practice. You come off the truck, you
run what you brung.
Yeah, you don't even. A lot of them, you don't even qualify. They did qualify for Charlotte or something, or they qualified for because Kurt Busch won the pole. I loved it.
Were you looking for a high 2 there or something?
But I love that when they just bring the cars, you race what you brought, and it kind of balances out the field. It doesn't let these monster teams get so much information for that weekend, that weather, and makes the whole field a little more balanced. You're seeing cars that normally would be 20th, 30th, running up there in the top 10, and I like that.
It's like in the old days when they pulled into Daytona with their flatbed and 4 extra tires.
And that's all you had.
Half the track was on the beach. And if you had a rag top, it was okay. It kept you cooler.
Hey, just a short note. I sent you a picture. Just so we're not talking about it, I sent you a picture. 4 out of the 6 possibilities of flying to Alaska all have a secondary test.
They are calling for it.
Yes.
I thought I'm going off what I thought.
Yeah, the other
I
two
heard on the news the other night. If you have paperwork that says that
you
are clean,
you still have to have a secondary
you don't
test.
have to quarantine.
But the other 2, there's 6 options. 4 of the 6 you have to get a secondary test. The other 2 are 14-day quarantines, and then you don't have to do a secondary test.
Yeah, or you can do a test.
But I just sent you that picture so we didn't have to have this conversation, so that way you can read it with your glasses on.
And if you live in Ketchikan or you're visiting Ketchikan, you
I got your glasses.
you don't have to take a test. You can just go out and mingle with all the people at the bars, and then
Infect everybody.
It's an island, so it's okay.
Oh, boy.
It's contained, at least on the island.
For now.
Disclaimer is no, it's not okay. We don't want that up here.
But no, I think that would be awesome to see 2 500 races, the Indy 500 and the Brickyard.
I gotta say, I haven't really been watching because I've been trying to do honeydews at home, and so. But the day that happens, 4th of July, you say, "Wow, crap! Holy crap!"
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, bastards! I'm
going
gonna be out fishing in Seward on the boat,
Well,
and I don't have a DVR.
Oh, sucks to be you.
So you know what?
I know where I'll be.
I'm gonna raise a flag
you
and not watch the race.
I know where I'll be.
You need to find somebody that runs a pawn shop or something like that can maybe pick up a secondhand DVR to hook up.
I do know somebody, but of all the years she's been working there, I have not seen a DVR come through yet. Anyhow, like I said, I think I'm going to be fishing in Seward that weekend. So,
Do you have a VHS?
On that subject, yes, I do have a VHS, and a really good friend of mine who was a basketball teammate in high school. We played together our senior year. We lost the state championship in triple overtime by 2 points. He's up here because of his father's health, but he was going through some stuff, and guess what he found? He found the VHS tape of that game. So I told him, "Hey, we need to make some DVD copies. Are you ready to do it?" He said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So I'm going to dig that sucker out, and we're going to make copies because I've got a couple other teammates that were on that team that want copies also.
You should look at your DVR. I bet it has a USB on the front that you could record the races and then make a copy onto a thumb drive. I think it does. Really? You could probably YouTube it too.
I don't know. I'd never
see.
But I was just going to say that, you're picking on him having VCR. I was going to say, don't feel bad, Scott. I still got a laser disc player.
I know you still got that laser disc.
I got a laser disc
I got to move that sucker every time you guys move.
My DVR box has a USB on the front that you can transfer stuff. So you might be able to do that.
I'll have to look at that because we went to that wireless thing with DirecTV, and so I got to look.
So
and see
is your DVR
available.
in the cloud?
I don't know. Like I said, I got to look at my equipment.
You got 2 weeks to figure it out.
But yeah, man,
about a week.
The Indianapolis 500 and the Brickyard, the same day. Oh my Lord!
Yeah.
My wife just walked in, so Rhonda, I'm going to tell you on the 4th of July, I don't think we're going anywhere.
No, you just got a
two
DVR.
You got
great
DVR.
races.
You got to DVR it so that we can go fishing.
There's nothing like live.
No, because somebody might spill the beans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his
You
name's
know?
Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim would be calling me, oh, your boy just crashed out.
And
What?
then, hey, so if Kurt and Kyle both race in both races, and
That'd be a first.
Kyle, hey,
Kyle ain't gonna do
if
it.
he did, would you still owe him $2 for Kurt?
No.
No?
No, it's NASCAR with Matt.
Oh, okay.
No, but Kyle.
Because I was gonna say it's a
has-
race, and if Kyle finished ahead of Kurt, then that's $1.
There hasn't been any talk about Kyle in the Cut or Indy series, but there's been talk of Kurt going back and running a car again in the Indy series.
Would he be for Ganassi?
It would probably be for Ganassi. And there is talk of Jimmy Johnson doing a stint in some Indy cars. So
Maybe
I
this will be
wonder
his
if
first
this
race.
could be his first race because it works out with his NASCAR schedule. If that,
1,000
if
miles
that
right
goes
there.
on, wow, that would be impressive. That's something that, like I said, I'm not going to DVR it. I'm going to watch it live.
You're gonna be up at 4 a.m.
If I
Or at
was,
least live on TV.
if I was a retired NASCAR driver that had raced a little bit of some other stuff, might be tempted to come out of retirement for that.
Are you talking about the guy that just got it, that's getting inducted next year for the Hall of Fame?
Is he talking about maybe Tony Stewart?
Tony Stewart,
Dale Jr.
Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon.
Dale wouldn't do it. No, I don't think Dale would do it. I don't think Jeff would do it.
No, it would be awful tempting to
Dale,
if it was at the same
'cause
track on the same day.
don't we switch to NBC by then?
It is NBC,
doesn't-
that's what I
it-
saw.
It doesn't matter.
well,
I don't think Dale Jr.
yeah.
He's never had aspirations or never really spoke of the Indy series.
But it's the Indy 500. He doesn't have to race the series. I'm just saying, how many times can you say you've raced? But I don't think he would either, just because he's the,
There's only been a few drivers that have the experience in those cars, that
he's got experience.
not in the Indy car.
Yeah, he does. He raced one Indy car a few months ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, on
iRacing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And he finished second.
Hey,
But no, there's been talk of Jimmy Johnson going
Well,
and running
we'll-
some
Well,
Indy
think about
races.
it.
We'll just have to see how it goes.
It would be cool.
everything has been pretty quiet, as far as things go. So you don't know. It might be a surprise, and on July 4th, all of a sudden, or leading up to it, that we don't hear that there's some names get thrown out there of
Yeah.
guys that are like, this is too big of an opportunity for my career, or anything to pass up. And do you think that
It wouldn't surprise me.
there wouldn't be a race team
Like I said,
that races Indy
I
cars?
could see Tony Stewart saying,
right,
you know what, I'll run 2
that
races.
Hendricks Racing would say, okay, we'll give you a car to drive for one race.
Yeah.
Gordon wanted to,
But
if
Hendrick
Junior wanted to.
doesn't. But Hendrick doesn't build an Indy car.
No, he doesn't. But you don't think that the racing world doesn't talk to each other?
I just,
Hendrick's got a lot of
I
money.
don't
If
know.
he said,
There's-
will you let one of my drivers or
the
former
Indy
drivers?"
field, the Indy field has enough cars to fill the field.
Can we
and
switch to something else? I don't
I-
want to hear his opinion anymore.
I don't think that there would be enough open rides for.
well, I'll just say this. With what we always used to call the bushwhackers, right? I would say there would be a lot of Indy drivers that would be pretty pissed off if a whole herd of NASCAR drivers came in that potentially are better drivers and could qualify better and kick them out of the Indy 500. They'd be pretty pissed off. So we'll just wait and see. Kurt's probably going to be in it, and probably Jimmy. If there's anybody else, it'll be a surprise, but not a surprise to me if there are.
Yeah.
How's that?
And to be honest with you, like I said, I've heard rumors, like I said, of Kurt doing an Indy thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's going to do it that
Yeah,
weekend.
neither am I. But like I
don't
said,
know, but
anybody else besides Kurt or Jimmy that hop in a car and can qualify for it will be sort of a surprise, but not really a surprise, just because it's on the same day.
yeah, and it would be Tony Stewart would be the only other person that I would say that could possibly come out of retirement and try and do it.
Yeah. So
Let me ask a question. Eric, have you heard anything about maybe Kurt Busch running the Indy 500 in another race the same day?
No.
You haven't?
No, I haven't heard that.
Because I could have swore I just heard you say it four times.
No, but you brought the news to me. You brought the news to me, Tim.
all right. With that being said, I have some other good news, and it might get a couple laughs out of you. On the 15th of June, they put it back in the week before because it took them a week to do it, but they put the ice back in at the Mac.
Right.
I went and shinny skated.
Oh, man.
I went and shinny skated, but guess what? 90 plus days off from skating and sitting on my hiney doing podcasts with you fart knockers. I think I gained about 20 or 25 pounds because my hockey pants were a little snug. But I tell you what,
trying to figure out how to answer this one.
I tell you what,
nicely.
I still, to this day, don't need the Crayola sticker on my helmet like you do.
No, maybe you need that Slim Slow.
But it was fun. We skated for an hour. It was shinny hockey. There was no refs.
What was the guy's name on Hee Haw that wore the bib overalls all the time?
Oh,
Yes, they're talking about me. I just got my overalls, first pair that I've had since my Carhartts in probably a dozen years or so.
yeah, and he's
And I'm sporting them pretty nice.
Looking pretty good. You're looking pretty good. I
But,
gotta say, you look
okay.
nice and tidy.
I'm going to go back a few years.
Uh-oh.
When I went to high school, the school that I went to was called the Packers. And the reason they were called the Packers was because there was orange groves all over that town when the town was formed. And so they had orange packing plants. And that's where they got the name. It wasn't from the Green Bay Packers. It was because they were a farming community and had orange groves and packed the oranges.
I
right?
can understand that.
So every year they would have Farmer Day. And everybody would break out their bib overalls and wear them to school.
I can't see the guy you're talking about, but Buck Owens and Roy Rogers did wear overalls
His name
on the
was
show.
like Junior something.
Junior. It was Junior.
Sample?
Junior!
It was
Junior!
It was Junior, yeah. Let me hold
How
on.
the hell we missed Junior?
Was it Junior Sample?
I think so.
But I'm liking this Packer thing. Keep going.
Yeah, so, Farmer Day, and then everybody wears. There was actually a guy that, I think he was on the track team, and his mom made him a custom pair of gold lame
Oh, no. Oh, no.
bib overalls. I was like, and, back then we didn't really think about that.
Junior samples.
Junior Sample.
Yep. Anyhow, where I was getting at was,
Oh, wait a minute. He's still on his Packer thing.
No, I was just saying that because
I
I had
know
a
Scott.
pair.
I know Scott's trying to change his subject here because he doesn't like this talking about the Packer thing because he knows where I want to go with it. but
just come out and say it, because I know if your wife was in here, she'd say her little thing too.
But no, I want Tim to be able to finish his Packer story. I mean,
I thought he was
we're
just
talking
telling the
about
story
Packers.
about it was Packer Day and you just wore your overalls.
You wore your overalls, and the guy wore the gold lame.
Yeah, and you're and like
I
I
wouldn't have
said,
never
you're
worn
looking
something like
sharp.
that, but-
You're looking sharp, Scott, in your overalls, and you got that nice flannel going on, and I mean, you're looking good.
Actually, today was a good day to wear a flannel because it was.
That's why I wore it. I had
to
to-
cool today.
It looked pretty cool with my Odd Man Rush hockey jersey on underneath it, but I thought, no, I probably better just put the flannel on and really look like a
No, it was
redneck.
a little chilly out today with this overcast and the winds and a little bit.
You know, speaking about not fitting into your hockey pants, I know that the other day I pulled a pair of jeans out of my drawer and I went to button them, and I'm like, oh man, there's no way this is going to happen. Not even if I lay down on the bed.
You could even got the vice grips and pulled the zipper up.
Nope. I guess I better break out the fat ones.
I swear to God, I tell you what.
Yeah, you don't have that problem, chicken legs.
No, I am skinnier than a rail, and I wish I could gain some weight. I tell you, I wish I could gain some weight. I can't gain weight.
I will
maintain.
gladly swap.
Everybody tells me that.
You drink beer as much as you drink beer and the volume you drink compared to what I drink, and I still gain the weight.
You fill up 2 platefuls of food and eat it, and it only half fills that hollow leg. I don't know where you put it.
I don't know either. I wish I could gain some weight.
But I don't have
really
a
do.
plunger in my bathroom, so.
So can we get back to my story now?
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a story?
How was your skate?
Oh,
skate
your
was awesome.
Your skate, that's right.
I
There we go.
was winded a bunch of times because we only had a few guys on the bench, and they were literally taking short shifts. So I'm like, okay, the next 2 guys go ahead of me. Go ahead of me. But I scored 2 goals, and of all the guys, we had probably six or 7 guys on each bench. So that's 12 guys on the team. We had 1 goalie, but there were only 4 single A. This was a mix of single A and the double A. There was only 4 single A guys on the ice, and the 1 goalie was the one. So there's 3 other guys skating. One of my teammates was on my team, and the other guy the guy from Jitters was on the other team. Oh, I was basically skating with the double A guys, and I was hanging pretty good.
Yep. For about 10 seconds.
And then I'd have to go take a break. You're right, but guess what? When I had the breakaway, when I scored the second goal, I was coming down that left side, and there was 1 defender. And this other guy from, I think he was on Jalapeno's team last year, but he was pretty good. And I knew she was waiting for me to pass to him, so I kept looking at him, and she kind of shaded over to him. So I took 1 step, bing, right off the post, and scored.
Did you say she?
I gotta say,
Yeah, that was the defender was a girl because we got mixed.
Oh, mixed league?
Mixed league. Yeah, there are some really good female skaters in our league, and
I bet that the goalie was like, I'm just going to let him score because
no.
he might run into me.
Yeah, Mike. No, Mike.
Better
Mike was
start
actually on.
getting out of the
We hadn't
way
switched
right
sides
now.
yet because we only had 1 goalie. So yeah, we had the screen, but I didn't touch the screen anywhere on that goal. I hit it right off the post because those holes are only probably 6 inches around on those screens that they put up on the net. But
I gotta say, from my time of when I used to skate with Scott and play on the league and that, I'm telling you, it is amazing how quick you get wiped out when you got to work end to end on ice.
Yep.
It is.
Well, and that's why the average and I don't know if it's changed, but the average NHL shift is only 45 seconds, and that's really depending on how many whistles while you're on the ice. That's really probably up and down twice.
Yeah, it is amazing how quick you'll get winded and how much energy.
That was the average, 45 seconds.
And how much energy you expend in those that short amount of time.
That night, I only worked 5 hours that day. I got off at 1:30. The skate was 8:45, so I went home and I went to bed. I got up at 7:30, except for somebody called me and interrupted my sleep. Not going to mention names, but I got up. I got a good nap in. Good 5 hour nap. I got up and I went and skated, And I came home and took another 2-hour nap because I had to be up at 2:50. I had to be to work at 2:15 that a.m. So I only got another couple hours after the game. But what I was getting at with Eric, after you expend all that energy playing hockey, I don't know, you remember on the old wind-up clocks, you can't wind them up too tight?
Yeah.
Well, when you're a hockey player, you're wound up too tight because it takes forever to unwind when you get back and get done. So, but it was fun. I think it's time for a BEE RUN. So with that being said, with our honorary Folds of Honor Budweiser cans for the summer, they come out with 3 different colors. I think.
Amen to the military and all the young men and women that are serving this country.
Yes, we love our military no matter what branch you're in and what you do for us. Our freedoms are because of you. With that being said, I don't think we said it too much, but we want some questions. We have an email.
Yeah, send us in. Talk to us.
upper_1_podcast @yahoo.com. Send us in your questions. Send us in some content. Maybe we can hook up sometime and get together and get you on an interview on the podcast. But we would love to absolutely take questions and hear from you. Probably all 3 of you. But we are on all kinds of social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're working on live video. Send us in. Get us going. Scott, Eric, and Tim, this is the Upper One Podcast from Chugach Foothills. Dead middle of the summer. Waiting on some good weather. See you next time.